Well, how could one be in Dawson City and not do some looking around? So that's what we're going to do this morning. A little different than most mornings. We're usually in a car and moving on, but right at the moment, first of all, we're going to take a look at Dawson. The overall thing about Dawson, and to my mind, is this gray, silty, fine dust. And in the rain, as I can attest to yesterday, it makes quite a wonderful mud. You track it everywhere, and you can see your steps. So, it's just terrible. But anyway, true to form, the town still has, to some extent, these wooden sidewalks to keep people up out of the mud, and that's the way it was back in the old days, and they've carried on that tradition. It makes a lot of sense. I love the font. Yeah, they're trying to keep the old days alive, which really works to their advantage. It really does reminisce about the old times here. But this is no Disney World. It all has a feeling of being absolutely workable, practical, and true to itself. Oh, this looks very Dawson, eh? Old doors, padlock, nobody around, but let's take a look through the windows. Because of the reflection on the glass, it's pretty difficult to get a decent shot, but that's pretty impressive. You can see where other people have come up to the windows and wiped them off to get a shot exactly opposite where the glare is less. We're just walking north in the town here, toward the center of town. And then we'll take Holly to the dog run. There's a beautiful dog park here with fence around it and exercise equipment for them, agility things that they can play with and stuff. It's in a place where you wouldn't expect it. It looks like an old dirt road that ends in the forest, but just beyond that is where the dog park is. Well, first of all, let's take a look at this. Dawson City Museum. Very cool. And the Klondike Administration Building, which is a historic building too. In recognition of that ubiquitous mud, they've got boot cleaning brushes at the threshold of many buildings. And as well, our hotel actually has a car wash out the back, where for a loonie you can use a pressure washer wand to wash off your car, and it gives you about 3 minutes or so for the one loonie, which is a tremendous deal. I guess they just have to recognize that there's a lot of mud around. One of the more new buildings is the hospital. One of the most iconic views of this town is this huge landslide on the face of this mountain. The river here seems to go through a kind of a canyon, and the land on both sides is quite high and steep. The scale there is difficult to catch, but it's big. Robert Service is a well-beloved poet and writer who lived in Dawson off and on from about 1908 to 1912. The two-room cabin he lived in still exists and is managed by Parks Canada. Sometimes you need a high truck. She's had a chance to run today and she is just wound up.
Are you wound up? No jumping. No, that's enough crap on my pants.
That's the tail end of a lot of running that's gone on here today. Big circles at a high speed.
Yeah.
It's delicious to watch her do it. Yeah, we were first of all not noticing these huge hills of stone everywhere around us on the highways. Apparently it's leftover tailings from gold mining.
Gold panning and gold mining days.
Yeah, people sifting through for gold, and when they don't find the gold, they leave the residue in these huge mountains. Yesterday in the town of Chicken, you could pay a little fee and try your hand at panning for gold the old-fashioned way with a bowl of gold and some water. Couldn't do it. 11:52 top. See ahead, something a little disturbing. We've been hearing reports that there may be wildfires around Whitehorse, and here there's quite a blue tinge to the air. Earlier this morning I thought that I smelled smoke, but it was very faint. Now I wonder whether or not that was accurate. So it looks like we may be heading into an area of fire, and I'm hoping it's not going to interrupt our trip. A few kilometers down the highway is an unremarkable intersection which I didn't manage to catch with the dash cam. This is the foot of the Dempster Highway. It is named after Northwest Mounted Police Corporal William Dempster, who attempted to find and rescue an overdue dog sled patrol of 3 officers. Known as the Lost Patrol, the men had died of exposure and starvation in December 1910. Dempster found their bodies on March 22, 1911. Construction of the highway began in 1959 and it was finished in 1978. With the addition of the Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway completed in 2017, it's now possible to drive to a point where you can dip your toes in the Arctic Ocean. It's a beautiful and lonely drive, and over some horrendously punishing roadway. There's only one place of accommodation on the 876-kilometer-long route. Round trip, that's 1,752 very isolated kilometers and too far for us. Although I have to say it would be very satisfying to drive to the Northern Ocean. Oh well. Well, that's a forest fire, all right. Up ahead there. No idea how that impacts our passage, but I think we're going to be passing to the east of it. But yeah, that's a forest fire.
Look at the size of that.
Carmax is something like 97% effort.
Maybe we need a little bit more of this while we're...
Oh, that's not... Okay, more weights.
more smoke.
Yeah, and firefighters.
Oh, yeah. Dramatic looking than that.
That's pretty good.
It doesn't look like that now, but two pictures to shoot.
So the fire is just off to the east of the highway here, and we're just beginning to enter a band of smoke. Turned off the car's cooling system, air circulation. The base of the smoke column is hidden in haze, so you can't actually see the fire, but if we do see the fire at some point, we will definitely stop and take a video. There's firefighting crews here and there. We've seen 3 vehicles. The third one is just coming up here. I'm not going to open the window now because it's so smoky out there.
It's not healthy for us.
Yeah, so on to the film from inside. Can you turn off the four-ways? Turn off the four-ways. Like so. How you doing?
Not too bad, you guys.
Oh, we're great.
They're probably going to be closing it shortly, so you guys might want to...
We will.
Get
Yeah,
out.
thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we better get out of here.
We just had a crew stop us, or not stop us, we stopped on the side of the road and they just told us that they're probably going to close the highway up ahead. So we had better get moving.
Yeah, I didn't really expect when I said earlier that I hope it doesn't impact our trip, that there actually was a danger of it impacting the trip. But yeah, the warning seems to indicate that they are considering closing the road, although we're past the worst of it now, so I can't see them stopping us as we're actually leaving the area. But they might be preventing people from coming north now, and they might have closed the road behind us as well. Anyway, I had no idea the forest fire situation, although you hear about it all the time, but you don't really expect that it's going to affect you personally living in the city. But there are a lot of forest fires that are always burning. In fact, some were burning over the winter underneath the snow in the dried and mossy areas, and then once the warmer weather comes, they just work their way back up to the surface again. It's quite impressive and frightening too.
Tonight we will stay at our fourth B&B in the town of Carmacks.
356.